Hello, good evening.
How you doing?
I'm trying to get used to this.
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, I thought you were a professional at it.
No, you know what it is? I've never been like a host on it. I've joined so many, but I've never been like the actual host.
Okay, I think okay, all right,
So I'm here with you guys trying to figure everything out too.
okay. So far, I'm in, and I guess that's the first part. That's the easiest thing for me because I don't have to do anything.
I've been having problems for weeks. I'm so glad. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, how you doing, Lucy?
I'm managing. How's everybody else?
Okay, all right.
Good to see. Good to know, I should say. All right. Mhm.
No MC seeing us, yeah.
So we only have 11 people in, so obviously I hope, everyone doesn't have problems getting in tonight. But also I just want to make a note, there is the raise hand button on the bottom. So if anyone has any questions, it should be a lot easier to just press the button, raise the hand.
How do you get to
I didn't
that?
see that. Yeah.
It's on the bottom toolbar where it says mute, stop video.
Oh, where it says more.
Yeah.
I see it now. Okay. Where it says more, I see the chat and I see the raise hand button.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't have that option.
I don't have that here either.
You don't have
Really?
Did
I
you
have
guys
chat.
go into the link that was sent to you personally on your email?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
It came up right away. Happily.
Did you
Happily.
download the program by any chance, or you just logged in?
I just clicked on the link and that was in
Just
the email.
I did the same. Just LinkedIn, just went in, which I'm happy.
Well, I have the program. I have the Zoom program or the Zoom
App.
I had to correct myself. Yes.
Let me see. Right. I hope you guys don't mind me raising my hand.
I mean,
No.
if you try to click down, like sometimes it goes away, but you put your mouse there. There is it's right after share screen. There's I think it's the fourth one. It says raise hand with the little hand symbol.
All right, let me see what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I've seen it before. I don't have that option right now. I wonder if it's because I don't know if I'm a host or a participant.
Lucy,
Yeah,
may I just suggest that you move your cursor to the bottom of the picture screen?
I did. Yeah, I'm trying something else here from
It shows you unmute. It shows you unmute and stop video, but it doesn't show you anything else.
No, hold on. I'm trying to get in again. Hold on. This has been happening to me, guys, so please bear with me.
Lucy, it's happening we expected it to happen tonight, so we're okay.
You
and
did.
Matt, by the way, Matt, I owe you a response. We have all your slides ready to go tonight. I'm so sorry, but you're good to go.
Thank you. I maybe
I'm here again.
No, I'm not. Thank you. And now I'm
So he'll
I heard you
actually
both times. You were good
raise
both
his.
times.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm off.
sorry.
I raised
Now
it
I'm
down.
off again.
No, I put it down.
Okay, but I saw it. Yeah, it does work, so that's good to know. But yeah, if someone doesn't have that little raise hand, feature or button, if you just raise your hand, then that's, for today, that's fine.
Just flap your hands around like this and we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I see a lot of people here. Gregory, hello. Mr. Narula, good evening, sir. Oh, we have a decent amount. I see Sylvia, Sunil. All right, we're good. I'm not scared anymore. I was scared earlier, but we're okay now.
Oh my God.
All right, cool. Mr. Chen is in too. How are you, Lucy?
I'm going off again, but this has been happening for a while, so just bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get back on.
No, please bear with us. Trust us.
Okay.
We're in the same boat as you. We're all paddling in the same direction.
Okay, all right. I just feel like I'm gonna have to go out again to get back on. That's my fear right now.
No worries.
Okay, let me try again. Oh, God.
Hey, Sylvia. See you. I see you. You don't have to unmute. I see you.
Hi, good evening.
How are you?
Everyone. I'm off again.
How are you, sir? How are you?
Well, I don't know if you're talking to me, but I'm okay. I'm good. I'm okay. It's been a tough day, but I'm okay. I'm okay. We're good.
All right.
So Christian and Marilena, who has the stopwatch for the elected officials so that they keep to the 2 minutes?
Actually, we didn't start yet. I just want to show you guys.
Oh my God.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, Margaret in the office, she gave me Lou's gavel, so I have that now. I didn't have
Very
it
good.
the last 2 meetings.
Good, good.
Hey, wait.
Lou, you gotta etch your initials
Pass
on
the
the
baton.
bottom here.
Wait a second.
Pass the
When,
baton. Pass the baton.
hold on. When did Lou own that gavel? That is board.
Oh, I
That is
thought it
board.
was Lou.
Hold on. That is board possession.
That's pretty funny.
I thought it was Lou's. I'm sorry.
No.
Hey, we gotta put his initials on the bottom, then mine, and we could start a little.
No, but Marilena, I
yeah.
do have the keys to the Corona house, like the White House. So I have to give those to you, though.
So we'll see how it goes because we're used to doing it in person. Now it's like virtual, so we'll see.
You know what? Lou peeled off the City of New York sticker on the bottom of the gavel. That's what it is. You just say property of City of New York, and Lou said no.
I said no,
yeah.
Hi, Michelle.
I made it.
We made it.
Yeah.
You did make it.
I was fighting.
We know, Michelle.
Hi, everyone.
We were all fighting to get there.
I was fighting. I'm glad I made it.
I'm glad to see a lot of people on. I'm gonna wait just till like 7:05, just to give a few more minutes for everyone to get on. But we got a good crowd, so I'm glad no one had any issues with the change over to Zoom.
Interesting. I see on Zoom here, there's a button. It says I can record live. So I guess if I wanted to record the meeting, I could.
Yeah, you can record live. You can live. On the top, something.
Yeah,
if you press a red button, you can record.
I can record the whole meeting if I wanted to.
Yeah, on the top is a red one.
Yes, I see it.
How are you?
Okay.
You look very young now.
Huh?
You look very young now.
Oh no.
Lou's getting younger now. Now he doesn't have a
Yeah.
What did he look like before?
He looks rejuvenated. Good job, Lou.
Thank you.
Okay, so a lot of people are on. We're gonna start in like 2 minutes. And I just want to say again, now that we're on Zoom, we can raise our hands on here, which is great. There's a button on the bottom bar. It's the fourth button in after participants, and it says raise hand with a little hand symbol. So if
Okay.
any of the board members have any questions, if you're like Lucy who doesn't have it, or Ashley are having some issues with it, then obviously just raise your hand. And there's also a chat too, just like WebEx. We have a chat here, so anybody has anything to write or information, put it in the chat. And Assemblywoman Catalina Cruz is on. Hello. So let's see. All right, got another minute.
I just want to add, for all elected official representatives, if you could please just send me a message in the chat just so I know which elected you're representing. That would be great. Thank you.
Let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna start. I think no one's having any issues, so we can definitely start now. All right, so we're gonna call the meeting to order. And the second item, which is we're gonna be voting on the minutes from the February 9th meeting. I don't know if anyone has any opposition or corrections to the minutes.
So
No? Okay. So I'm gonna make a motion to accept the minutes.
I made the motion.
Okay, thank you.
I do the second.
Second, thank you. Okay, and I'm assuming everyone's in favor.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna pass that. Thank you, guys. All right, so now on to the chairperson's report. So I just want to start off saying, every beginning of the meeting, I like to say all the holidays coming up. Wishing everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day, Passover coming up, Easter, and Ramadan. So who all celebrate those holidays, enjoy.
And we also celebrating Devas Visakhi.
Okay,
April 1st.
I'm definitely gonna miss some, but thank you. Thank you for bringing that up too. Okay.
That's that Queen's diversity, Marilena.
Yeah, you guys gotta send me a list so I don't miss any of them, but I got a lot, so that's good. All right, so I just want to thank all the board members who filled out that survey that we sent by email. We got some great feedback. We really hope to improve our meetings. That's why we switched over to Zoom. Hopefully it makes it a little easier for everyone. Also, we're going to strive to get any notices out, as soon as possible. If we can do it a little quicker, we will. So thank you for submitting that feedback. I also want to thank all who sent in emails volunteering to be on the bylaw committee, which we have to, get going on. We have a couple little changes to make and just review the bylaws. And I officially chosen Lou Walker, Lucy Shalero, Matt McElroy, and Chow Chung Chen to be on the committee along with myself. And we're going to hopefully, get together soon and start reviewing the minor changes and anything else we can improve on the bylaws. So thank you for volunteering. I also want to talk about that since the last meeting, there's been two borough board meetings. And the first one, we talked about the fiscal year 2022, the expense and capital, and we did all the community boards we voted to approve. And Borough President Richards, he is going to fight as hard as he can. He said he's not afraid to use his voice so we don't get cuts for the Queen's budget. But also another thing that I know Lou has brought up in the past, that Queens, our numbers are still going off of the 2010 census. So Queens is underserved, with our budget, unfortunately, and we're still, until we get those updated numbers, we're still going off those old numbers. And that's sad because of all the, the things that we've had with the pandemic. We definitely don't need, we can't afford to have cuts. So it's a little scary. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. But But hopefully once we get those updated numbers, we can get more money, for Queens. Also, Borough President Richards, he had a presentation, representatives from Mitchell-Lama Housing, and it was a very good presentation. And they're trying to reintroduce legislation to stop privatization of the Mitchell-Lama Housing and to secure state funding. So BP Richards said that he was going to write a support letter for that. And it was really eye-opening that Mitchell-Lama Housing really is affordable housing and home ownership. And it's such a great program, and we should definitely have more of it. So everybody was in agreement with that. And I hope you were all able to see the email that was sent out Friday about my letter to the City Council regarding the comprehensive citywide planning legislation that Speaker Corey Johnson proposed or is proposing. So we got kind of a late notice about it, and testimony was due on February 23rd. So myself with Alton and Christian, we looked into it. It didn't come our way. We actually heard it from other community boards, and there's a lot of issues with that legislation. I know Alton will talk a little bit about it later, but if you got to read my letter, which is in the email, it just basically talked about there wasn't any transparency. And this would basically, it's like last minute, basically it wasn't very transparent for citywide to know what was really going on. And it would make our community, which is already experiencing overdevelopment, we would have less say in the ULURP process. So a lot of community boards are not for this. And a lot of citizens, obviously, this is not a popular plan. The mayor has also opposed the plan, saying that it would be too costly for New York City to do something like this. So I know Alton will touch upon that later, but you could just go to the email that was sent out Friday, and the full letter is there. Also on February 25th, Councilmember Drum responded to our letter regarding the community board budget cuts, and he wrote to Mayor de Blasio, as he is the chair of the Finance Committee as well, to not cut funding to the community boards. We are already operating on a small budget, and he advocated to not give us any cuts. So thank you, Councilmember Drum, for supporting us. And I'm going to say that is the end of my report. And we're going to go to the district manager report, and then we're going to go to Assemblywoman Catalina Cruz, because she actually has to leave at, I believe, 7:30. So, Christian, I'm going to hand it over to you now.
Thank you so much. Rest assured, it's going to be really, really short. And hello, Assemblywoman. I promise I'll be out of here in 30 seconds. I don't have a whole lot for you guys. This is one of those nights that, while it's been a busy month for the board, it's not busy as far as community events and whatnot. A lot of it is internal stuff, so we are certainly keeping ourselves busy. A lot of the items that I want to report on, Marilena has already reported on. Again, huge kudos and thank you to Councilman Drum. You always have shown support for community boards. You did mention you were planning on it, and we do appreciate the letter of support, so that's great. A few things that I want to share with you, and I will share them throughout the night versus doing it right now, unless Christina's doing it in the chat. Let's get back to our art camps. Our art camps are this coming weekend. So we have, the numbers are up. As many of you know, we canceled the last one. It was just a last minute cancellation we had to make, but the therapeutic art camps are in fact set to take place this coming Saturday. And again, we'll share the flyers and the links for you all shortly. The first class is at 2 p.m. and that's for children 9 to 13. The second class is for 14 to adult. And this is strictly, there you go, perfect, thank you, Christina. And this class is strictly movement based. All you need is a computer and just show up. There's not really much to it. Hopefully it's a very amazing workshop. I have no doubt that the group will do a great job in it. So those who have not, we'll be sharing the link in the chat. By all means, please share it and let's get this thing moving. Hopefully it's the first of many. What I also want to report on the Elmhurst mural. Those who know, if you passed and make it a quick stop, the Elmhurst mural by Whitney Avenue in Elmhurst, we had to obviously slow things down because it was getting really cold out there. The paint was sticking to the walls. But I spoke to the artist who was actually on site today. I will be on site with her on Thursday to, I guess you could say, to finish it up, or at the very least start phase 2 of finishing it up. We have a few more supplies that I have to drop off, and everything will go well, hopefully. And the truth is that this actually falls right in conjunction with what the NYPD is doing, which is just that. It's replacing the graffiti throughout the city. But enough about that. I will report on 2 items that I have over here, and there's just 2 statements that I'm reading on behalf of community members. In this case, the first one is from Mario Matos Jr., the community liaison over at Masters High School, and the second one is our friend John Wang of Queens Night Market, who has some updates. So I'll read that really quickly, and then we'll pass it on to Assemblywoman Cruz. The first one will be from John. My dear CB4, my apologies for being unable to join tonight's meeting. We're currently hosting the last session of our free small business seminars, which is why I'm unable to attend. I just want to let you know that we got approval from the city to reopen the Queens Night Market this spring, as long as we do so in compliance within state and city COVID safety protocols. Because those safety protocols include certain attendance restrictions, we are still determining whether it makes sense for our vendors for us to reopen this spring. We're actively exploring ways that we can reduce our event completely. We are actively exploring ways that we can reduce or even completely waive vendor fees, thereby reducing the economic risk for our vendors. The earliest we would open would be mid-April, but I just want to give you all the latest updates because if we decide to open, it will move very quickly. As always, please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions or concerns. Thank you so much. See you at the next CB4 meeting. And my next statement, I'm going to blaze through it. And again, realize that we are going to send you guys the full update later on. Everything that was discussed tonight by Christina, who, again, kudos to the staff because, my God, these meetings are hard to put together. Kudos again, Christina, to putting these together. So really quickly, from Maspeth High School, beginning March 22nd, Maspeth High School will resume classes using the blended learning model that was used in the fall. Fully remote instruction continues for all students who previously selected fully remote instruction. It's important that schools can reach parents and guardians to share crucial information quickly, including alerts about confirmed COVID-19 cases in schools. We encourage families to sign up for an NYC Schools account, NYCCSA, so you can be contacted via phone, email, or text message. With NYCSA, you can access your child's grades, test scores, results, transportation information, and more from anywhere, and in all 9 standard DOE language translations. If you have an account, sign up today at schools.nyc.gov and NYCSA. It only takes 5 minutes. And the last thing is if our Maspeth Makes a Difference Club is looking for opportunities to take part in community cleanups. Please contact Mr. Pachter, Assistant Principal, at jpachter@schools.nyc.gov. I will share it in the chat for those who have a pen. It's J like Jennifer, P like Peter, ACHTER @schools.nyc.gov. And again, we will provide you guys all with those updates throughout the night and share them in the chat. At the very least, sometime before the week, you'll get it all. So thank you. And as you know me, I'll report throughout the night as the items come up. Thank you, Marilena. And you can pass the floor on to the Assemblywoman.
Thank you. So now, without any further interruptions, we have Assemblywoman, I'm sorry, Catalina Cruz, and I don't, okay, perfect.
I also believe that Councilman Moya is also on the floor, but we'll get him after.
Sure. Okay, Catalina, hello, how are you?
Maria Elena, it's long time no see.
I know.
Everybody's healthy and doing well. I hope that soon we all can meet in person. It would be great to go back to the way things were, but even better. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to just chime in for a little while. I'm going to keep it short. I wanted to just give an update on some of the work my office has been doing during the last couple of months and the things that are coming up and how we're going to be working to continue to help our community. In the last 2 weeks, I'm sure everyone has seen what has transpired in the news regarding the issues with our senior living facilities and the scandals, et cetera, but work at the state level still getting done. I'm very proud to say that we passed 2 bills in the Senate that I'm sponsoring in the Assembly and that hopefully will be signed by the governor to protect our seniors. One of them creates a task force that really takes a look at how we ended up here and how do we improve things, because it's always easier to point the finger and said, you did this, but really taking an in-depth look at what seniors need, what services are available, where do they live, how do we get it to them, and really make real recommendations for our state to create changes so that our seniors can age with dignity. It's the simplest thing that we can do for them after everything they've done for us. The other bill is, and for those of you who often go to the precinct council meeting, we've heard how identity theft is such a huge deal for our seniors. And so we've now, once this law is signed, identity theft will be part of what's deemed as elder abuse. And that's very important because it'll open up access for our seniors to more services, to more support, and kind of widen that availability of how we can help them as a community. The other thing that we have been doing is COVID testing. Every Thursday, we did it since the beginning of the year. Every Thursday, except when it snows, our office is offering COVID testing. We've now tested over 200 people. Before, we were doing the ones where people, a medical professional will come and test you. Now they give you the swab, and if you follow me on social media, you've seen that I get tested every 2 weeks, and I show it to people because I think it's important for people to see that this is still happening and that we should still be taking care of knowing if we have it, and so that if we can protect the people that we love. So it's for free. If you have insurance, fantastic. If you don't, fantastic. Just show up to our office between 10 and 4 every Thursday. For now, we have it through the end of March. Hopefully, we can continue to do it after that. We are also going to be bringing back our community cleanups, which were so successful. And thank you to Chris and other members of the community board who came and helped us. We did one in each of the neighborhoods in the 39th Assembly District, and we're going to do another round now that the weather is going to be better, and we hope that you can join us again. Unfortunately, during COVID and due to certain cuts in the city's budget, and I thank Councilmember Francisco Moya because I know that he put in some additional money when the city cut the funding for cleanup. He stepped in and put in a little bit extra, but unfortunately, there's still so much more to do. So we hope that these cleanups not only actually physically take out the garbage that we're having in our streets, but really create this feeling amongst our community of taking care of what we have and what we love. The other thing that we're doing is it's Women's History Month. So happy Women's History Month to the women on the board. Thank you for your commitment to our community. And our office, in honor of you and the work that we're doing in the community, is having a web series. If we would have been in person, it would have been town halls. But the first one that we're doing is actually tomorrow, and it's with health experts from Elmhurst Hospital. And we're going to talk about cardiac health, about cancer, about breast health, and we're going to talk about preventative care. And then the following week, we're going to talk about mental health services and mental health care, because it's not only important during COVID, but we carry a lot on our shoulders as women and sometimes as head of households, and we want to be supportive of you and make sure that you're accessing what you need. And then in the last week, we're going to have a mentorship and career panel with fantastic women in different realms and industries. We're going to have a reporter. We are going to have a chef I know Lucy and other folks actually saw some of the food that we were giving out of our office because you'd often pass by. One of the chefs that's in charge of that nonprofit is going to be joining us to talk about actually working in nonprofit as well as cooking. And so, it's not just about taking care of our health, but also taking care of who we are as people and as women. So we're going to have that. And then since I mentioned the food distribution, unfortunately, as I mentioned the last time I was with you guys, the nonprofit couldn't afford it anymore. And so what we did at the state level is I introduced a bill earlier this year to make the program called Nourish New York, which was started by the governor during the pandemic with a couple of millions of dollars to make it a permanent program, because we knew that food insecurity is not going to disappear anytime soon. And it is unfortunately going to continue even past whatever is deemed as the end of the pandemic. And so we had the creative idea of going to the other side of the aisle and making it a bipartisan issue. So my colleague, who is a Republican in upstate New York, a senator, and represents big farmlands, introduced it with me, and it's passed in the Senate. And we're going to hopefully pass it in the Assembly in the next couple of weeks. And what that will do is create almost like a direct connection between the farms in upstate New York, who for a very long time were actually losing business. When I visited them over the summer, many of them had to throw away milk, had to throw away food, because there was no way to get it downstate. And we shouldn't have that in a state like ours. There should be a way to get it to the many food pantries. And as many of you know also, we are one of the only districts in the state without a permanent food pantry. We have pop-ups. We have the St. Leo's one that operates often, sometimes once a month. We have Alperna that operates a fantastic one whenever he can, but there should be something more permanent. And so this bill, which I am hoping will pass within the next month, will create that opportunity. And I hope that when I can come back the next time to join you guys, I can have the fantastic news that this is going to be a permanent program. We will also continue the COVID testing. And I want to make sure that I am not forgetting anything. Oh yes, and I am teaming up with Congresswoman Grace Meng, who we are all very fond of, to collect feminine hygiene products that are going to be donated to La Jornada Food Pantry. Unfortunately, one of the things that we saw during the pandemic and even now is that baby products, food, and feminine hygiene products were very much needed, they're very scarce. And so we're collecting them. If anybody wants to drop them off at our office, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 4, Fridays from 10 to 2 p.m., you can drop them off until the end of this month, and we will be taking them over and donating them to the food pantry. And so that is, one thing before I forget. Right now, there is unfortunately no additional money. Money's coming in the next couple of weeks, but as it stands right now, there's no additional money for helping our community with back rent. The federal government just approved this week a package, and we are expected to receive some additional money from that. When we had the last batch, our office helped many of our neighbors apply for that help so that they could pay some of that back rent. And it goes also to help the homeowners who are suffering because they also need to pay their mortgage. That often sometimes will come from the renters. And so if we're going to come to the community board and we're going to ask for help in doing outreach, because when that money comes into effect, again, we're going to be helping people again apply for it. Because if anybody loves to make things complicated, it's government. And so we are here to help you make sure that whether it's you as the members or anyone from the public that needs to apply for it, it's going to be available. And as the budget gets closer to an end, we'll come back and share some more information about the budget process. And again, thank you so much for letting us have the opportunity to tell you what our office has been doing. And for anyone that needs help, and I know many of you know our information, but I'm saying it because I know people tune in on the different technological outlets. We're at 718-458-5367, and we're at 4140 Junction Boulevard. And while we only cover Jackson Heights, Corona, and Elmhurst, we never turn anyone away. So feel free to come to call our office and make an appointment. We are seeing people, but by appointment only. We are not taking people off the street for the safety of the person in our office. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Assemblywoman. And thank you for all you're doing. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Okay.
So as I was saying earlier, Marilyn, I believe, and Christina, I don't know if you see him, but I know Councilman Moya is joining us. Do we have a contact info for him?
Yeah, he's in already.
Okay. There we go. I hear him.
Okay. All right, so we'll take Council Member Francisco Moya. He's on the phone right now, and then we'll go into open session number 1 right after him.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairwoman. And again, happy International Women's Day to everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. I hope your families are well, everyone is safe, and you got a chance to enjoy the good weather today. So I just wanted to come by and quickly just drop a couple of notes on some of the things that we've been doing. My main focus and emphasis has been COVID testing, vaccines in our district. We have been disproportionately, we've seen that we've been disproportionately not been able to acquire the vaccines in these zip codes. I actually wrote an op-ed in the Daily News 2 weeks ago and spoke with the mayor when he was here in Queens last week that talked about how we need to start prioritizing distribution based on zip codes so that the priority for everyone who is eligible will be based on those zip codes like 11368, which is Corona, and 11369, which is East Elmhurst, which we have been at the very bottom of the list of people who have been getting vaccinations. You know, that just can't be. we can't talk about opening sites in other parts of the city if we haven't addressed the inequities that exist right here in our own community. We were the epicenter of this pandemic. We have an obligation to ensure that the state does its job in ensuring that we get all of the vaccines necessary from the federal government, and then that the city, once it receives that, distributes it appropriately based on the zip codes that we see have been deemed the areas that have a high number of people that have been able to actually register. That has been my priority, and we're now looking to open up sites directly here in CB4. I have been talking with the mayor. I've given him a couple of sites. We're going to be making some announcements pretty soon to make it more accessible. I co-sponsored legislation in the city council just last week based on conversations that I've been having with folks in the community through Zooms and in person about also what are we doing for homebound seniors that actually can't get out of their homes to receive vaccinations. We passed that last week. We're ensuring now that the Department of Health is going to administer sending people out to working with DFTA to send them out to the homes of homebound seniors to actually get the vaccination shots and be deemed as a priority so that we're taking care of our seniors as well, who may not have the ability to get out and receive the vaccinations. So that's been really the main focus that I've been doing, is to prioritize our district to be the area where we received the vaccinations in a real way, and then have equity in its distribution so that the folks that are looking to register are going to be able to register from here and get the vaccinations, that they don't have to go to Jacob Javits, that they don't have to go any further than being here in the community to go and get that. And we're working with a lot of the clergy as well to look at different avenues where some churches may be a site as well, and including LEFRAC. I am now working with LEFRAC and the city to actually look to see if that would be a suitable place to actually bring a center for vaccinations or vaccination distributions. This week also in LEFRAC, you'll see I brought the testing vans. You can go, if you live in the area in LEFRAC, they're going to be there the entire week. Free testing. We are doing the rapid testing, so you can find out in 15 minutes, or you can do the traditional one where it takes 20 to 48 hours. But we're encouraging as many people as possible to go and get tested. We also have them here in Corona, Park of the Americas, and Our Lady of Sorrows. They're all going to be here this week. I've been bringing the testing vans to the district since December, because I prioritize this district in ensuring that we're getting those resources necessary to come to the community. We usually have 2 to 3 testing vans throughout CB4 every week. And we're happy to send information to all of you as well in regards to where the testing vans will be. But also follow me on social media, sign up to be on my mailing list. We send them out every week, so you know exactly where to go and where you can find one of these free testing sites that we are bringing to the district. And with that, I just want to also talk about the funding. Where is Gregory? Gregory, you're gonna love this because I got some good news. We're doing the preliminary budget on parks. It is a priority for me to bring in a lot of the funding that's necessary to really clean up our parks in this community, brighten it up, and have more inclusion from the community to kind of be part of the scoping process that takes place when we start envisioning how we are going to rehabilitate some of our parks and really make it, again, a beautiful place for people in the community to enjoy. So we're also tackling some of the issues that we've been facing in CB4 with the complaints that we're getting from the drinking and the smoking of marijuana in our parks. I've heard that. We've put in more money for PEP officers to come to the parks that folks have been talking to us about. But I'm also bringing the trailer. It's going to be in Park of the Americas. We just got it through in the budget. That will be the location for the PEP officers that will actually be their hub for all of Queens. So we will have the PEP officers in Park of the Americas to be able to be deployed out to the different areas that they see there are trouble spots in the community, to be helping out, handing out PPEs, doing all those good things, and also keeping our park safe so that everyone can enjoy the park and that is not taken over by people who are, drinking and smoking and don't allow our children or our seniors to actually have the opportunity to enjoy the parks here in our community. And we're bringing a lot more planting and beautification for the parks. We have a wonderful display that we're going to be doing for the spring. If you've gone to William F. Moore Park, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a really, beautiful heart that was put out there by one of our local artists. It says, "From Corona with Love." It's right over a bench. We have a lot of people sitting there taking wonderful pictures. We want to beautify our parks, make it a destination. We want to make Corona and the areas in CB4 destinations for people to look at and say, wow, we got local artists really beautifying our community. What a great place to go and take some pictures. And that's how we can sort of promote also keeping our parks clean and safe as well. So with that, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you have a heavy agenda as well. But thank you again for always allowing me to come on and speak with all of you. I hope you're doing well and you all stay safe. And please, if there's anything that you need, feel free to give our office a call, 718-651-1917. Berenice from my office is going to be on here. She can put some information up for you as well. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, council member. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to go to open session number 1. So at this time, your microphones, you have a little blurb there. I know there's some people that are muted. Christina will take care of that. We're going to go alphabetical order, and this is also going to be attendance as well. Okay, Lucy Sorezo Scully.
Sorry. give me
Al
one
Chung
second.
Chen. Oh,
No, I don't see her. Mr.
Oh, yeah,
Chen
Lou,
is
I'm sorry.
here.
No, I'm sorry, Lucy. I thought Lucy is not able to join. She said she's having trouble. I'm sorry. I thought.
okay.
You.
Thank you. Okay, Chao Chun Chen.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, he's here.
Okay, thank you. Yi
Thank you.
Chen. David
No.
Chung.
David.
Hello, I'm here.
Hey, David.
Hey, hi everyone.
Bye.
Linda Carell.
Good evening, I'm here.
Also, I just want to let you guys know, it is a set attendance, but you are allowed to speak if you had any comments or anything. I didn't know if you guys, okay, Lorena Diaz.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good beginning of March.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle Dunstan. Michelle is still muted. I can hear her.
I
Unmute.
sent a request to unmute. She has
I'm
to.
here. Can you
Hey,
hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, good. And welcome to everyone, and I hope everyone is doing well. And thank you for Catalina Cruz and Councilman Moya for joining us.
Thank you. Already Espinal. Kristen Gonzalez.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you, Ari.
I can't hear you guys, so I just want to say I'm here and happy International Women's Day to every beautiful woman in this community board. But I can't hear you guys, so I am going to log off and log back on. But I hope you hear me.
We can hear you.
I'll
Thank
be
you.
back.
Thank you.
Hey
Okay.
guys, this is Kristen. Just want to say I'm present. Also, hope everyone's safe and well.
Thank you, Kristen. Vincent Lostella.
No, it looks like he's not here anymore.
Oh, he's not here anymore. Okay. James Lisa.
No.
Salvatore Lombardo.
Yes. Sal, can you unmute yourself? Sal?
Marilyn, Marilyn, maybe it's because I feel we are spending a good maybe 30 seconds per member. Maybe we should just do an attendance and members could just raise their hand using the raise their hand function because we could do this for a little while and we have 2 sessions.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Maybe, unless anybody has strong oppositions to it, just for sake of keeping moving. We are at 7:40 and we haven't gone to attendance yet, so.
Right. Yeah. Okay, Carol Maszewski.
Carol was having a
She's
tech issue
here.
trying to sign on earlier, but I believe she is here.
She is here. Okay.
Okay.
Sunhil Mahat.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. Patricia Martin.
I hope you can hear me. I'm here.
We hear you.
Sylvia Martin.
I'm here.
Matthew McElroy.
I'm here. Hi, everybody.
And is Rovenia with you, Matt, by any chance?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm here.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
They got you.
Edgar Moya. Okay, Ruby Bahamid. Sandra Munoz.
I'm here and I just want to let everybody know that I can't find parking anymore.
No.
Bye, everybody. Well, not never. Until now, I can't find parking. All right. Bye. I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Gurdeep Singh Narula. He's here.
I'm here.
Okay.
Mr. Narula, good evening.
Georgina
Yes, I'm
Oliver.
here. I'm here.
Got you. Thank you. Georgina Oliver, I know was here.
I am here, present.
Oh, okay. You're on. Perfect. We can hear you. Good. Alexandra Owen.
I'm here.
Alexa Ponce.
Alexa is likely going to log in a few minutes. She's also having a tech and internet issues, but she will be in eventually. as far as
Ashley
I know.
Reed.
I'm here.
Okay. Oscar Rios. He's here. I see him. Okay. Christian Romero.
Present.
Clara Salas.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, Clara. Lucy Shalero.
Present.
Ared Sevilla.
Here.
Gregory Spock.
Good evening.
Oh, sorry, I skipped over Alton. I know Alton's here. Okay, perfect. Dewan Tariq.
Present.
Marcello Testa.
Yeah.
Lou Walker.
Present.
And Min Wen Yen. I know she's here.
I'm here, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we do have a quorum. So now we're going to go to the report from elected officials.
Marilyn, really quickly, just an FYI, my understanding is that Assemblywoman Jessica Gonzalez Rojas is in the room with us. So just an FYI. I understand she is physically here. Just
Okay, so I'm going to go. I don't think we have anyone here from the Senate, so I'm going to skip over that. And I know Christian Romero from Grace Meng's office.
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Hey, everyone. Sorry, I'm driving now, but I pulled over. Don't worry. On behalf of the Congresswoman, just, good evening to everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. There's not too much to report tonight. I guess one prevalent thing that I do want to mention is that the Congresswoman has been working very hard on the anti-Asian hate related to COVID-19 that's happening around our communities. Terrible, terrible situations that many folks in our communities have been going through. The Congresswoman is fighting to reintroduce resolutions and legislation to combat this. I just want to encourage everyone that if you see something, please say something. The NYPD has a hate crime task force that handles these kinds of issues. And at the end of the day, we are all one, we're all family. If you see anything, please say something in regards to this. In regards to the new stimulus package that's currently back at the House, there's not much information for me to update everybody on. We've been getting a lot of questions about when these new checks will come, how they'll come, who will get them. Hopefully we'll have that information soon. Probably by the next time we meet, everyone will be more aware. So I'll try to send a statement to the board so that everyone can get an update in their email. But that's it from my end. Thank you so much, Marilyn.
Thank you, Christian. Is anyone here from Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's office?
Yes, there is someone here. Hold on. All right, Michelle, you're unmuted.
Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Hernandez with the Office of Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. I have a few updates. We had our last town hall last month around the COVID vaccine. If you didn't have a chance to see it, I'm going to share a link on a recording of it that's available on our YouTube page. Stay tuned for details on our March town hall to come later this month. You can find out about it if you are registered for the newsletter. I will also add some links to the chat box around this. Last month, our office worked with the state to bring a pop-up vaccine site to the First Baptist Church in East Elmhurst, one of the hardest hit neighborhoods. And we're happy to share that over 500 local residents were able to receive an appointment, receive their first vaccine. The state will come back in a couple of weeks to give the second dose. An update on the legislative end. Christian touched on this, but the Senate has passed a American Recovery Plan, so it's in the House now, and it aims at looking and providing folks with a stimulus check, unemployment, money for vaccine distribution, and relief for state, cities, schools, and small businesses. On the note of small businesses, and this is where I'll share more links, but there's currently a window open exclusively for businesses with 20 or fewer employees to apply for a PPP loan. That cutoff date is tomorrow, March 10th. And so business owners can reach out to the Small Business Administration approved lenders, and they can find directions for applying to the loan on the SBA website. I'll share that link. The last thing that I do want to note is that last week the House passed the Justice and Policing Act, which is a bill that aims to transform policing in America, as well as HR 1, which is called For the People Act. And this legislation will expand Americans' access to the ballot box, reduce the influence of big money in politics, strengthen ethics rules for public servants, and implement other anti-corruption measures. We are always providing assistance, and if you ever need us, I will share ways that you can contact our office either via email or over the phone. And thank you all and have a great rest of your night.
Thank you so much. Now I'm going to welcome Assemblywoman Jessica Gonzalez Rojas.
Thank you, Chairwoman, and good to see everyone. It is just past month 2, and I'm really excited to have hit the ground running. I have my colleague Shamima Rahman on the call as well, and she'll provide some information. Our offices are located at 7535 31st Avenue in East Elmhurst. We're not encouraging appointments, but if you need to meet with us, please call us or email us. And Shamima will provide our phone number and email address. Just want to share a few resources and announcements. The hardship forms for COVID-19 that help support prevention of foreclosures and evictions through May 1st are still available, and you can fill them out prior to May 1st, but obviously as soon as possible. Shamima will provide the link. Also, the New York City Economic Development Corporation and the Queens Chamber of Commerce are still offering Queens Small Businesses grants, and these for businesses of 20 or fewer employees hardest hit by the pandemic. Again, please take advantage of these resources. We want to make sure we're saving our small businesses. I held my first virtual town hall last week, and we covered the COVID-19 pandemic. We had Spanish interpretation available, and in the future we'll also have Bengali interpretation available. We were joined by community experts, including our very own Helen Artiega, the new president and CEO of Elmhurst Hospital, joining us. And we'll continue to have town halls pretty much each month on different topics, and we'll make sure that we let the community board know when those town halls are happening. Just in the past 2 months, I've co-sponsored over 71 bills, so I won't go through all those bills, but they range from, bills on healthcare. We just did a whole package on the nursing homes and make sure we're protecting our elders and that we can never see the type of horrific crisis that we've seen recently with our nursing home, with our elders. So there's numerous protections that have been put in place, and I'm proud to have supported and voted on. And just a couple important announcements. I was able to fight to ensure that phase 1B of vaccines included food pantry, food bank, and grab and go site workers and volunteers. So I know how our community has stepped up and has helped out during this crisis. And I wanted to make sure that they were prioritized in accessing the vaccine. So whether you are an employee or a volunteer with any of those sites, you can get an appointment. And just when you sign up, you should look under the public facing grocery store workers. That's the category they put that under. So just, make sure to sort of click in that category. And just two other quick announcements. I just introduced legislation with Senator Biaggi that it will have a standing advisory committee for the MTA to improve bicycle and pedestrian access on MTA bridges and stations. We know people have been riding their bikes more, and we want to make sure our bicyclists and our pedestrians remain safe. So that's been introduced. It hasn't been passed yet, but I'm excited to be a sponsor of that. And then I also sponsored a bill that would ensure that all school districts have a full-time licensed social worker and a full-time licensed psychologist on staff. Again, not yet passed into law, but I want to make sure that we're bringing mental health resources to all our school districts. So again, lots more work happening, but I don't want to take up too much time. I just want to, again, thank you all for your work and that we're here as a resource if you need, and happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Assemblywoman. Thank you for all that news. Thank you.
Oh, we also have PPE and hand sanitizers in our office. So if there's any local businesses that need them, we have sort of the big jugs that we can give away. So please contact our office as well. We've been doing some drops in the district, and happy to go to any business that is needed. We're making calls to businesses, but in case we miss anybody, please let us know.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to let everyone know, because we're using Zoom now, that there's a lot of information in the chat, and you can actually save the chat information. There's a little option for that. So just to let everyone know that. Okay, so now moving on. I believe we have someone here from Senator Jessica Ramos's office.
Yes, there is somebody here. Hold on. Mary, you're unmuted. Mary Jabida? Okay, well, she was here.
Okay, all right. If anything, we'll go back to her. Anyone from Senator Tobian Savitsky's office? I know Minwen is here.
I'm sorry, nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. And New York City Mayor's office, Jessica Shabowski, I believe, is here.
Yes, she's here. Jessica?
Well, you know what, in the meantime, what I'd like to say is I did notice that our representative, there it goes, a representative from Ramos' office, that she's unable to do it. So if in fact anybody is there representing an elected official and it's something that you can actually share in the chat via a link or whatever it may be, please do so now in case we're unable to unmute you and hear you but before the end of the meeting. Or just send it to the board office and we'll share it tomorrow, any updates you have. Thank you.
Is Jessica there or no?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, hi, Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
It takes a second to get back into the room. Hey guys, so I'm gonna highlight just 3 things. One, we are really excited that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was approved. We're really excited that with that, Merck has agreed to produce more vaccines with Johnson & Johnson. This is something we've been advocating for months. So we expect an increase in vaccine dosages sent to the city, especially increasing over the next few weeks. And so one thing that, there are some concerns in the community about which vaccines to take. And our health leadership continues to assure folks that once you get vaccinated and you wait a couple of weeks for your body to build up that system, they're basically close to 0 hospitalizations and absolutely 0 deaths. So the message right now is get any vaccine that is available to you. And so with that, we're really just looking to reduce those extreme effects of having COVID-19. So again, for folks who are eligible for vaccines, nyc.gov/vaccine finder or 877-829-4692. And one other website that's more language accessible is Vax4, nyc.nyc.gov, and I will be putting that in the chat. Secondly, I'd want to highlight that this Sunday, March 14th, is the COVID-19 Day of Remembrance in New York City. We're encouraging any New Yorker who has lost a loved one to COVID-19 to participate in the city's memorial event by sharing the name and photograph of the person they lost. And that photograph may be featured as part of the city's ceremony. So I'll be putting the link to that upload website in the chat as well. And lastly, I just want to highlight that today the mayor announced the Vaccine for All Corps, which will be a civilian corps for workers to join in the city's vaccinations effort. Through the corps, the city will recruit 2,000 New Yorkers to serve their communities with a priority focus on residents in the 33 Task Force for Racial Inclusion and Equity neighborhoods, which include both Corona and Elmhurst. The Corps is hiring for clinical roles, including vaccinators, as well as support and administrative roles. And I will be putting that website also in the chat. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you.
Okay, is anyone here from Councilmember Daniel Drum's office?
Yes, Kelly's here.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everyone. This is Kelly from Councilmember Daniel Drum's office. Just a few announcement. So CUNY Citizenship Now is in partnership with the New York City Council and is hosting a Prepare for Potential Immigration Legalizations event virtually on March 11 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. If anyone is interested, they can call for an appointment. The phone number for the appointment is 646-664-9400, or you can send a text to 929-334-3784. So I have the flyer I will share with the office later, so you can share it out tomorrow. And as a reminder, our office continues to provide legal services at the office. We do it visually now. There's a 30-minute free consultation. We can deal with any immigration or housing or other issues. Anyone interested can call our office to schedule an appointment. So our office phone number is 718-888-6373. So that's my report of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Okay, Queensborough President Donovan Richards.
Yes, Kat is here.
Hi. No real report back other than the borough president's state of the borough is up on our YouTube channel, and pretty soon you all are going to have some new members on April 1st. We're going through the process over here. Can't wait to spill the beans, but we're still going through it. So thanks for having us. Have a great night.
Thank you so much, Kat. Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz.
Yes, Elizabeth is here.
Hi, good evening, community board 4 members, and this is Elizabeth. This is Elizabeth from Queens DA's office. So I have a quick announcement. So tomorrow at 6, please join our legal experts, district attorney, and tax advocates to learn something regarding try to avoid scams, take advantage of free resources, and report crimes to obtain the justice. So for this program, we will have the translation available, Spanish, Chinese, and Korean. And also, DA office, DA just created his hate crime bureau during her first 100 days. And if you see some hate crime, and if you want to provide the evidence, please give us a call. We have the hate crime helpline, 718-286-7010. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer.
Yes, James is here.
Hi.
Hi, James.
Can you see me? Trying to put the camera on. Hold on.
James, 2 minutes today.
Okay. Hi everyone. It's James Mondeluzzo here from the office of New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer. So first, I want to tell you that our office just released tons of new reports. Some of the reports we released include the cash balance projection for the city of New York, the quarterly cash report, as well as the annual audit report, which summarized all the audits we did in the fiscal year of, that would be the 2020 fiscal year. So that covers audits that showed that the city could either save money or reduce expenses that would reach a total value of nearly $32 million. So some of these reports, some of the recommendations have been taken and some have not. I know that there's been some concern about the USTA situation here expressed by several of the board members. So in there's a list of recommendations that were given, and then some steps the Parks Department is taking. They're currently reviewing, looking into some of the things we suggested, but they have not been able to get all of the money that our office believes is owed to the city. We also just put out the preliminary budget presentation. So I think this one might be particularly interested to people here. It's very easily digestible, a lot of good visuals. It really explains the situation that the city's facing, the challenges and the opportunities we have to improve things as we reopen the economy in a different way. So you'll see information about stalled job recovery, slow rollout of the vaccine, though these things have, the vaccine situation has definitely improved a lot lately. Small business revenue was down about 50% up till like around January of this, compared to January of 2020. Property values have actually decreased, and Department of Finance has actually collected fewer property taxes, or less in terms of absolute money that they've collected. It's the first like real serious drop in 25 years. So if you want to see some of that information and some of the positives, some of the things that we can possibly do better to turn things around, you can take a look at that presentation. Lastly, I'll mention again, we are still looking for people to look at our database of unclaimed wages. We have given out over $2 million to people since the pandemic began, but we still have a lot of money that's sitting there that people should be able to take if we can find people. A lot of people's last known addresses were in Corona and Elmhurst. but was just having trouble locating these people. So if you know anyone who might be owed money, it doesn't even matter if you think they're owed money. Just go to the link that I'll give you, type the names in, and hopefully you'll find some people that you know that are actually owed money, and you can connect them so they can get what they deserve. So that's all from me. Thanks again. You can reach me at 646-689-6509, and I'll put the rest of my contact info into the chat. Oh, and all the contracts report is out too, if you want to see that. All the contracts from the last fiscal year.
James, could you put all those links in the chat?
Yeah.
And then we can also, what we like to do is we put everything in the chat, and then we also like to send out emails to the board members. So that would be great if you can have all the information. Thank you.
Will do. All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we're going to be moving on. We have a wonderful presentation tonight. It's going to be a discussion on the Banking Development District. It's something within CB4 that that currently Alton from the ULURP committee has been working on. And we have Yulitza S. Franklin tonight, the Deputy Director for Community Development. She's here to present.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for the invitation. I am going to briefly just provide an overview of what our office does, what the Banking Development District is and does, and the role that you have in ensuring that your current Corona Banking Development District is serving the community needs. So I am the Deputy Director for the Community Development Unit within the New York State Department of Financial Services, which is the state agency that supervises most community banks, not a lot of large institutions, but we do supervise all insurance companies operating in the state, for example, mortgage bankers, mortgage brokers, originators, and check cashers, and other licensed services. I'll be sure to add that link onto your chat for your purposes. In the development unit, we administer the New York State Banking Development District program, which is a program that was enacted in 1997 for the purpose of providing incentives for banking institutions to locate brick and mortar branches in otherwise underserved areas. And we monitor the activities of these institutions on an annual basis to ensure that the goals that they set for themselves to meet the community needs continue to be congruent with those needs. We also review bank applications like branch openings, closings, bank mergers, acquisitions for consumer impact. And so if ever there is a branch closure happening within your district that will result in a significant impact to that community, we welcome a public comment regarding that. Now, we also provide other community development supports. We work with all of our regulatory counterparts to spread the word of community reinvestment and the importance of public comments during those examinations as well, because those are the only exams for that are made public. And so we want to make sure that we have that public input. With regards to the Banking Development District program and as it pertains to your community, Corona is one of 3 banking development districts in the borough of Queens, and the only one that continues to be actively served. What that means is that while the areas continue to have the designation, there are some banking development districts that are no longer active, be it because the branch closed or the branch opted not to, once it reached profitability, not to participate in the program or remain in the community, or they may not have been meeting the needs of the community as proposed. And so the department recommended non-renewal of those deposits. When a bank locates in a banking development district and applies to participate in the program, they are eligible for up to $10 million in subsidized deposits, which means that those deposits are provided at a subsidized rate, meaning, for example, if the jumbo CD rate is at 1% with 100 minus 100 basis points, that deposit would essentially be free to that institution. They also have access to up to $25 million in market rate deposits. And if they operate within New York City, they can access an additional $20 million in deposits from the New York City Banking Development District program. What do they need to give in return for all those deposits? They need to provide financial education, which as of 2011 became a requirement for all participating BDD banks. They also have to provide accessible and affordable banking products and services, and have to remain in sync with the community. In other words, they have to demonstrate to us the extent to which they are connected to the communities they serve, whether that be by way of participating in community-related events, providing donations to organizations within or serving the banking development district, or any combination thereof. And I was hoping that New York Community Bank, which is the institution serving the Corona BDD, would be able to make it, but hopefully next time. My understanding is that they have entered in conversations with the leadership of your community board. And so I would be curious whether you want to share with me now or offline, how that's going, because we do monitor the extent to which the branches cultivate and maintain those connections, because those are connections that will prove important to the institution in ensuring that they continue to provide the services as needed in the community. And the last thing that I wanted to remind this board is that in as much as the orders for this community, for this banking development district were approved at the time of the designation, upon a foreseen need, the community board along with the bank are either able to extend that, redraw that border as needed to perhaps encompass the entirety of the community board if you find that necessary, or move, or move it along with wherever the needs are at the moment. The law also permits overlapping banking development districts. So for example, if the community board sees it fit and appropriate for another institution to serve, within the existing banking development district, that's a conversation that we can also have.
Okay, thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Any questions? Yeah, we're gonna open it up to questions. Do you want to do the chart first? So could you hold on? We're gonna do a little chart, and then we're gonna take questions right after. Okay.
Okay.
So now, Alton, I don't know if you want to speak to this chart. Christina's about to share her screen, but again, we won't be able to really share it with anybody because it is just a screen share. But if you want to maybe speak to some of the items on the chart and we can share with everybody tomorrow, would you like to speak on that, Alton? Or yeah, Alton's probably unmuting himself.
All right, if we move down to income levels for the area, I think when we talk about banking, the concern in the area, this is Community Board 4 district. If we look at the economy, it shows the income for the area. And if you can see here at 30% under 50K, We also have a number at 24,000, and then from 50K we have 40% community. Then from 100K we have 22% of the community, and over to 200K we have 4%. When we look at the earlier chart that was provided by Citizen Committee for Children of New York, they did an excellent chart. I don't know if Christina have that chart. Christina, that's the chart I think we presented last community board for last meeting.
Let me check.
Okay. What that chart basically shows that community board 4 is extremely underserved as a banking community, especially Corona. East Elmhurst as well, but that's really community board 3. And in terms of communication, I did reach out to Mr. Graziano. I heard from him today. It seemed like there was mishap in terms of communication, but we have not really had, the board have not had conversations, as far as I know. If there's obviously 50 members on the board. If anybody had communications with New York Savings Bank, I did reach out to him. He did return the call today. I'm not sure if he would have been able to make it. He was waiting for clearance. But he did show some interest in attending today. But if you look at the chart, it shows community Corona, the number of banks Corona and East Elmhurst, as well as Elmhurst. So what we're basically saying is that how this got going was we were looking at our needs and need statement for Community Board 4, and we had to address the economic development for the area. And we said, this is something that we really need. We need BDD to come in and set up a bank that will address the underbanked as well as the underserved. And at that time, that's when we became aware that there was a BDD that was developed in 2005. But at that time, I don't know how many members were still present at the board. Later on, I found out that Lucy was present, and she remembered that was a chaotic time. She can always speak about it. But at this moment, we have also lost the bank on Junction Boulevard, and I believe we may have lost the bank on, I think 80, but I think we lost another bank. But we also had a full service bank that is now an ATM bank. So what I'm really saying is that when you look at the picture of Corona and Elmhurst, it's underserved in terms of banking. So we're saying, what do we do? What is our next step? How do we proceed in terms of developing a BDD for our area? I hope I make that clear.
Yes. And am I still unmuted? Yes. And that's it. And thank you very much for your question. And the first step, which you have already taken, is to ensure that New York Community Bank is engaged with the board and it's able to share with the board the extent to which they are providing affordable and accessible products in the area, and also free services that are non-banking related, but that are a community service. And if those services need to have a farther reach, that's a conversation that that should be had between the bank and the community board. The second step, as I suggested, is if the case may very well be, as the numbers show, that the market would be able to sustain having more than one banking institution serving the community as a banking development district. And if the board finds that to be the case, then the next step would be to perhaps reach out to an institution. The best practice is to reach out to an institution near the area, because what I've learned is that banks like to branch when they consider expansions. They like to set up branches near other branches, maybe not necessarily next door, because that wouldn't make sense, but in close proximity, whether that be maybe a couple of zip codes away or what have you. And so if you have institutions surrounding the community district and you're interested in bringing them in, the first step would be to engage them, and we would be more than happy to support that outreach by then following your outreach, if in case they have any questions that are program specific or what have you. That's one strategy. The other one is that, as you mentioned, there are if you find another institution engaging or potentially, speaking of branch closure, if the deposits would make a difference in them remaining in the community, and this is an institution that has the ability to provide the products and services that the community needs, we would be more than happy to speak to them as well.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm
I
going to
have
open
a
it up
question.
to questions. Yes, Red?
Yeah. Hi, Yuli. Thanks for
Hi,
the
how are you?
presentation. Good. Thank you. You mentioned that it's possible to be able to have another bank established in the neighborhood if the community can demonstrate that it would be sustainable for the bank to start.
Mm-hmm.
How do we demonstrate that as a community if we're not really banking experts? Can we ask a bank to come in and they make that determination?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the simplest way would be to look at what your population per banking institutions are, right? And so if you find that the community as a whole has less than, say, right now the state average is about 2.6 perhaps, so anything below that technically would deem the area underserved, and thus able to demonstrate in that manner the extent to which it continues to be underserved, even with the presence of another institution that is serving the community. This would demonstrate that the need is greater than that which one bank can provide.
I see. Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
Okay. All right.
Gotcha.
But it would also need to be, like I said, sustainable in a way that it doesn't necessarily result in the closure of other institutions, right? We want to make sure that we grow, the number of institutions serving that community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lucy also has a question.
Yes. Am I unmuted? Yes.
Yeah.
Yuli, you mentioned that you give $10 million to each of the banks, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, does that go to a commercial bank or just to a savings bank?
Excellent question. And the answer is both. Typically, savings banks are not eligible to receive municipal deposits, only except if they are participating actively in the Banking Development District program.
Why I'm bringing that up is that a Chase Bank closed up at Junction Boulevard, about 3 blocks away from me. We had 2 Chase, because that's how overcrowded we were. The line
Mhm.
would go up. But I talked to the manager about this, because you can wait forever to deposit money or even work. The business people can get angry because they have a long line. They closed one because the rent was so high, and that took up a lot of their income. Can they complain to you about this, or they should go to their politicians about this?
We do not regulate Chase. They
Okay.
would need to reach out to the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, which is the regulator that supervises Chase. And I would be more than happy to see, and of course I don't have it at hand, but there is a community affairs officer, and her contact information is available on their website, and I'll be happy to send that link.
All right,
following
thank
this
you.
meeting.
Thank you very
Sure.
much.
Oh, and if I may also just remind that as of 2019 seems like so far ago, right? But back in late 2019, the Section 96D of the law, which is the Banking Development District law, was amended to include credit unions, so that now credit unions can participate in the program. So if you know of a credit union that that would benefit from the ability to access municipal deposits, and it's already serving the community or would like to serve the community, that's also a conversation that we would be happy to have.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Next question, Alton.
Hi, you. I'm glad to finally get to see you. I know we had talked a lot, so
yes,
it's a pleasure. It's definitely a pleasure. I do have a question. Question is about the underbank. One of the things about BDD that's different from other banks is how it addresses the community that have special needs. Could you talk about that? The type of products that that a BDD bank can address that a regular bank could not. What sort of saving products, especially for the underbank?
So if I understand the question is what are examples of specialized products and services that BDD participating institutions provide?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Great. So so what we see oftentimes as that participating institutions provide, in addition to affordable entry products like free checking accounts and things like that, are second chance accounts, which are accounts that allow persons that that may have notations in check systems to open accounts until such time that they are able to clear those defaults and then be graduated to a regular account. We also have institutions that provide credit builder programs, which are savings accounts that serve as a credit loan, which deposits are then reported as timely payments to the credit bureaus, and thus build on a positive credit history. We also have some institutions that have partnered with the New York City Housing Authority to provide remote rent payment. And what this allows, especially for institutions that are amidst NYCHA development communities, is an opportunity for those residents to be able to make rent payments at the branch at a lower rate than they would pay, say, at a check casher. And they are then incentivized to open accounts so that the rents are then deducted at no charge. So that's a service that some institutions provide. Some institutions also provide very specialized financial education, whether it be to school-age children or a growing senior population. There may be concerns related to identity theft, for example, or estate planning and things like that. And so those are some products that that banks have provided, in addition to first-time home buyer loans, small dollar business loans. What else?
Equity loans.
Yeah, I think those are the main ones.
Okay.
Oh, and in addition to that, I'm so sorry. We also have institutions that are serving majority immigrant communities, and so they always ensure to have at least 95 to most times 100% bilingual staffing, and that the financial education provided is provided either bilingually or in one language as needed, and that all of their signage and marketing materials are serve the languages spoken in the community.
Perfect. Thank you. One last question, and then I actually have one little question. Gurdeep?
Yes, you can listen to me.
Yes, he can hear you.
Okay, I have question that in case if you have to open a credit union, what kind of a credit union they need a money, and how much the banking industry will provide, how much money they will provide?
Excellent. Any credit union, whether it's chartered in the state or whether it's a federal charter, is eligible to apply for BDD designation, so long as it's serving a community within the state. And they're also eligible to for the same deposit limits as banks. So the 10 million subsidized, up to 25 market rate, and up to 20 with the New York City BDD program. Those deposits, I have to share, need to be collateralized by the institution. So in other words, they need to provide some sort of insurance per se for those deposits. And most institutions provide that by way of a letter of credit from the Federal Home Loan Bank.
So how long if any board member, what kind of requirement for the board member? They have to verify all the credential, everything. So what kind of requirement they required for the credit union?
Well, they have to be, a duly chartered credit union. And so, if it's chartered and it's operating, those credit unions are typically examined, I believe, on an annual or biannual basis. So, so that's the record that we would have of assurance that, the credit union is, it's a legitimate credit union.
But I can get the link on.
Excuse me?
Can you send me the link on?
Yes, I can send you the link to the information regarding the program. We don't have anything that specifically addresses credit unions yet, but as I said, I would be more than happy to to speak and to speak to anyone interested. Set up another call or a conference call to discuss your interest in having credit unions participate.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much.
Marilyn, yep.
Gurdeep, that's
we're
we're gonna continue this. Yes. The only question I had is there was a bank that currently closed on Broadway, HSBC. Does your department look into why branches closed or no?
Yes, we do. For institutions that we supervise, and HSBC is one of those institutions that we don't supervise, unfortunately. But when we get notifications of branch closures, we ensure that they at minimum provide the minimum 90-day notice to consumers on the closure of the branch, and that notice has to let them know where their deposits will, the next nearest branch that the deposits will be transferred to. We also look at the consumer impact. So, for example, if the branch closure represents the closure of the last bank in the community, that's where we may either see whether the bank would consider a partial closure until such time that we identify another institution to come in its stead, or if the bank can negotiate something to the effect of closing the branch, but leaving a deposit taking ATM and things like that.
Okay, thank you so much, Yuli.
Sure.
I want to thank you for speaking to us tonight. And I know Alton, he is going to be continuing this investigation and also project, and then we'll be in touch for sure. Thank you.
Likewise, thank you so much, and thank you for the invitation again. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, Marian, take the telephone number of these people.
Yes, we're actually gonna get information. It's gonna be an ongoing thing. This is just like the first step, and Alton from the ULIP committee is gonna be continuing to work on this.
Thank you.
It is a problem in the district, so thank you everyone for listening. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the next item. We're gonna be having a vote for the Public Safety Committee liquor application. So Lucy?
Okay, fine. Let me just, if you won't mind, I just want to give an update on the Sunshine Fund. The last 2 years, I've been telling everybody to bring their donation or money for the Sunshine Fund on March. So I had a few members that reached out to me about, should they come to the office? Do not go to the office. Don't bring any money. We're still closed at the office. They're working from their home. So right now, our total is $419.35. We did give out baskets and flowers. I hear Christian was very helpful with this, though he was rescinded. And the two that were the last things that we gave out was for Barbara Jackson, who died around the Christmas holiday, and Alton Derek Smith's mom. I did not know this, Alton. You'll be going to hearing from me. My apologies for not knowing, but our condolences go out to you and your family and all that. So I just wanted to get those two out. So at $419.35 is the total at this time. We'll see what happens throughout this year. Pray, and I pray for all of you that nothing happens, that nobody passes away. So all my best to all there. And again, to all the women, happy Women History Month. That goes for you especially, Marilena. I'm very proud of that, that you've moved up, and this is what it's all about. And so we did have a quorum for our public safety. We talked about CERT briefly, about how they're giving out PPE. And most importantly, even though you're getting your shots, it takes time for that to work. You still have to take priority, meaning wear your mask and keep a distance. The two subjects that were brought up that evening, besides the liquor license, was the graffiti. We heard from Police Officer John Wurzel about the Mayor's Graffiti Initiative. We're finding out that Sherwin-Williams is the main distributor for the paints. This will be starting on April 10th. And they're waiting for their supplies. I've learned, because I've done a lot of initiatives with graffiti, that you have to keep these things updated. And we may need to see how we can supply our 110 once this initiative moves forward. The next thing we talked about was hate crime. We brought up about Asian being subjected to hate, especially during this COVID. As you know, some of our Chinese neighbors were very upset about this, though I'm proud to say that in our community, or here at CB4, we have not heard anything where anybody was seriously intimidated or harassed in any way. So I pray that stays that way as time goes on. Okay, now we'll go right into the liquor licenses. Okay, I'm going to tell you some things here. When you hear about the denials, 9 out of 10 times when they go back to the state liquor authority, they often hear their case again and give them the liquor license. And my neighbors will tell me, how did he get a liquor license when they have so many things against him, such noise complaints, or maybe didn't follow the COVID rule? They have their reasons, and I guess the state's looking for money, so that's one reason why. So I will tell you the denials first. Number 2 on the renewal is Tom and Tom's Coffee Shop at 8120 Roosevelt Avenue. That was a no-show, and usually the no-shows we don't grant a liquor license. We wait for them to either send somebody to speak in their behalf. No one came, though there was a lot of things written about him through the police report. Aroma D Cafe Bakery at 8102 Broadway was also a no-show. That's renewal number 3. Don Key Restaurant was also a no-show at 7532 Broadway, another renewal. El Patron, we had a lot on El Patron at 53-09 106th Street in Corona. That's number 4 on the renewal. We did have some technical difficulties hearing somebody that did come in their place, so but it wasn't very clear, but they did have a large report again. And the next one under the renewal, number 5, is Mahmeter Incorporated Blah Blah Bar at 7128 Roosevelt Avenue, was also denied. Numerous noise complaints through the years. And El Tucan at 43-24 91st Place, no show again. That was number 9 on the renewal. So those are the only ones that we denied. Italian Charities, we said yes, as you know. We gave it an attaboy. That was a definite yes. They all came to us. K Cafeteria at 4803 108th Street was a yes. John's Food Corp at 9722 Roosevelt Avenue, also renewed. We said yes. Page 2 Corp, Parkside Restaurants, 10701 Corona Avenue. Best Sushi Island, 8718 Queens Boulevard. These are all the approvals, mind you. Queens Theater in the Park, 5609 Grand Central Parkway. Nevada Diner, which is now also known as Georgia Diner at 80-26 Queens Boulevard. J&I Products Incorporated at Spicy Shallot, that's at 7701 Woodside Avenue. Yeah, I got that right. And Letitia's Restaurant at 40-32 National Street in Corona. And I did say about Italian charities, those were the new class, the changing class. So that's pretty much it, guys. So does anybody want to approve this with us? Anybody that wants to do anything about that? Gerda,
I just want to say that I have to abstain from not the vote, but for the Italian charities. Yeah.
That's your dad. We're not going to do that to you. Okay. Anyone want to move this along for us? Approve with us? Anyone?
I move that it be
I move the
approved as,
motion.
Okay, so Sandra first, and then Gurdeep Singh seconded. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
You know, so I'm sorry, so Marilena, really quickly, and again, you guys aren't doing anything wrong, but to be clear that the motion is on the floor, but unless there's any opposition on the floor, and I don't believe there are any, but if there is any opposition on the floor, and Marilena, I'm not telling you how to turn your meeting, by the way, we are discussing this in text, but if anybody on the floor has any opposition to it, now would be the time to do so before the motion goes forward, but I don't believe so. There is a motion to accept the report as is.
Yeah, is there any no's? No, everyone seems.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
I don't see anyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you
Motion
very
passes.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you for all your work and your community work. Thank you. And you know, happy Women's Day. I totally forgot. I told you I was gonna forget some holidays, but
I just want to say one thing. You should be very proud of Maria Elena. She sent me a phenomenal report from the Post about the initiative. Even though we discussed it briefly here, I was very impressed with, as I always am. And you're on top of things, and that proves how much you really care about the neighborhood. So I just have to state that. Okay, guys, and again to all the ladies and all the new ones joining us.
Yeah, to all the women, we do so much. Thank you all.
Okay, that's it. My report's finished.
Thank you, Lucy. Okay, so now we're actually going to move on to the committee reports. And I know we have a lot going on in our committees right now. So the first one up, Consumer Affairs.
Hey everyone. So we met last month to go over, we actually covered a lot. The first thing I want to talk about is we had discussed bringing on a co-chair. I know it's written into our bylaws that we are, that we can have co-chairs. I think it would make for a little bit more better collaboration and bringing some fresh ideas. So at the next meeting, we'll discuss further. Mr. Chen at one of our meetings a while ago had suggested kind of altering the name of the committee because consumer affairs kind of is very limiting in terms of what we could do. Given the fact that we're going through an economic crisis and that our small businesses are suffering, we were playing around with a few ideas, and one of the names that we're thinking of is Consumer and Economic Affairs, so that could cover workforce development, consumer affairs, small business development, and that way it could be a lot more inclusive of all of the needs within our district when it comes to the businesses. We had talked about a community needs assessment within CB4, and Christian had brought up the great idea of creating a survey so that we would just blast out to all of our small businesses and maybe even do some like boots on the ground outreach to some of these businesses so that they're aware that we exist. And that we could also provide resources to them. And then we also know what their needs are because we have our own relationships with some of these small businesses, but they're like in piecemeal. And if we could get like a whole assessment of what these small businesses need, and even larger businesses, because they also suffered, we might be able to provide resources that we didn't know, that we weren't thinking of, like marketing workshops or sending out resources to grants and just kind of creating a whole listserv of small businesses that have popped up in the last year as well. And I also created a WhatsApp group for the committee. If anybody's interested in joining, you're welcome to. And that way we can have our students' communication a little bit more open and better coordination. And then lastly, the next meeting is going to be on Thursday, March 18th at 6:30 through Zoom virtually. We'll go over some of the survey questions and kind of bring in some new ideas as well.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Great work. Okay, Environmental Committee. I guess
So I don't know if he's here, but I'll tell you this much. I'm actually meeting with Oscar sometime this week to kind of like catch up. As you guys know, every year CB4 does some pretty cool stuff at our community gardens. Again, I say it all the time, but it's only I have to say it that Earth Day happens to be the same day as my birthday, and I normally celebrate my birthday at one of our community gardens on Earth Day, and we intend to do the same thing this year. I understand that FMCP, Hush Meadows, is doing some kind of a week, an Earth Day week, so to speak, and we're going to collaborate with them. Maybe they can drop off some compost and help support some of our gardens. But that's my understanding with the environmental committee. The only updates, he's looking to have a meeting sometime very soon, but I'm actually meeting with Oscar this week. So by the next meeting, you guys should have a lot more going on with the environmental. So just hang in there, guys. He'll get there.
Okay, great. Thank you. Health Committee.
Did you say health?
Health, yeah.
Okay, because I've been having trouble hearing. I think something's wrong with my. You guys could hear me, right? I hate to say you guys could hear me.
No, we can hear you. Yeah, you're good.
Trouble. Well, I have not yet had a health committee meeting with my members. I think I could say members. I'm not sure. This is brand new to me. But I have reached out to a couple of folks from the neighborhood, and like the council member and other community leaders, because I know it's a big concern of ours, and about the vaccine and the disparity on it, and especially at the beginning of the month, how Citi Field did not have enough, especially for this disenfranchised community where COVID was hit the worst. And I had a real deep conversation with Francisco, who kept me in the loop with a lot of things that were happening, Councilman Moya, with a lot of things that was happening with his talks in the mayor administration. So that was helpful. And hopefully by next month, we can have a full update of how the vaccines are going to be rolled out in the neighborhood, as well as more testing sites and so forth. And also I'm going to meet soon with Helen Arteaga, who's the new CEO of Elmhurst Hospital. So by April, I'll have already a meeting with the members and myself and chairwoman, and also with you, Chris. So I'm trying to get to speed as much as I can with this. So I appreciate it. And hopefully by next month, we'll have a better update. And Gregory, thank you for, I got your email. Thank you for sending that over to Christian, and he sent it over to me. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Ari.
Thank you.
Okay, Parks Committee.
That was a perfect lead in, Ari.
You're welcome.
Good evening. I will put all of these 3 meetings that I'm going to mention in the chat. But there is a Passerelle redesign. There's been a series of meetings related to the air train. Unfortunately, I wish that the Flushing waterfront and what was happening with that was not attached to an extremely billion-dollar project that frankly none of us in this community want. It's really geared towards Manhattanites, if to put it bluntly. But I encourage you to attend and voice your qualms about that. Unfortunately, I think this meeting is going to be more around what Parks is doing related to that, but it's always good to show up numbers in opposition. Next, there will be on March 24th, our first of the quarter CAB meeting, which I vice chair. That meeting's at 6:30. The Passerelle meeting's at 7. and both of those will be conducted via Zoom. And then finally, I will be having a parks meeting on March 30th. It's a Tuesday at 7 p.m. and we will discuss all things parks. We will definitely be discussing the USTA audit, which thank you to the comptroller and James for giving us the updates on that. That is not a done deal. There, are extremely concerning things surrounding that. Mainly, just to point one thing out here briefly, the fact that there's a tenant that says Parks is unable to effectively monitor and enforce NTC's compliance with its lease, and the fact that the comptroller's office is limited to in its ability to carry out a city charter mandated function to independently audit the compliance with that lease. So those are two things that we will definitely discuss as it relates to the USTA. That's all I have for parks. Thank you.
Thank you, Gregory. Transportation Committee.
Hey, everybody. The Transportation Committee was able to meet. We met a couple of weeks ago. DOT was present, as was a member of the community. The first thing, and it's very good news, I think, and in fact, I expected Gregory to touch on it, was that the casino buses, which have been from the aqueduct, which have been blocking the view in and out of the park on 45th Avenue and Broadway, C.C. Moore Homestead Park. Their application for a permanent right to pick up passengers there has been denied, and I think that's great that we got DOT to do that. I think huge kudos to Gregory who brought this to our attention and kept it in our attention. Very nicely done, and I think we're all thrilled to hear it. We discussed with DOT two areas where there have been pedestrian safety issues raised. One is the length of 41st Avenue on the north side of the hospital, the back side of the hospital, from 79th to 81st Street, three intersections. And the other is at Whitney and Judge, near the name of the park escapes me. The intersection of Whitney and Judge, where
Veterans Grove.
Oh, thank you, Veterans Grove. Thank you, Gregory. Where issues have been raised by several people on both of these areas. DOT has undertaken a study of both to see what they can do that will address the issues we've raised, and I think that's great. DOT also raised an issue, which we are going to ask them to come back at some point and talk to the whole community board about, which is the neighborhood loading zone program that they have. It applies mostly in fairly dense residential areas, and what it does is seek to resolve double parking issues when the FedEx or UPS trucks stop and block traffic behind them on one-way streets. It is a problem, and they've instituted a program in a few places where they expand on hydrant areas or driveways. They expand on areas that are mostly not occupied and made them neighborhood loading zones, so that the delivery truck can pull in there and not interrupt traffic. So that program will probably be described in a general community board meeting at some point in the relatively near future. And finally, and Christina, I'd ask you to put up slide number 5, the project scope issue. Finally, there are some changes coming from DOT to an area just above Elmhurst Hospital on Baxter Avenue. If you look at this map that's up, you'll see that area A is the place where Glean Street, Baxter Avenue, and Roosevelt intersect. B is where 83rd Street shoots off from Baxter, and C is where 82nd Street comes down into Baxter. If we go to the next slide, please, number 7. So what they're showing you here on this little map is that along Roosevelt Avenue, where the number 1 in the circle is, cars are turning both ways. They're entering into Baxter Avenue at that crosswalk, which of course, Baxter Avenue is one way headed up into Roosevelt. So cars are turning onto Glean Street from both directions in Roosevelt, crossing through those 3 crosswalks to get there. And there are issues there. The Transportation Committee went out there with Christian and with DOT in October, and we watched for a while. And there are issues with the people crossing along Roosevelt Avenue, crossing Baxter, while those cars have the green light and can make the turn onto Glean. So there is a legitimate issue there. Can we go to the next slide, please, Christina? These next 2 places are basically places where people are crossing the street. People, you see the blue arrow? People are crossing 83rd Street as they continue along the side of the street. There's no crosswalk, there's no stop sign, there's no yield sign. So that's one area that's a problem. And then next slide, please, Christina. A similar story at the next block down, where 82nd Street, cars coming south enter Baxter. And now the next one, Christina. Thank you. So this is very complicated, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to make this as quick as I can. They are proposing changes to the intersection where Glean, Baxter, and Roosevelt come together, okay? Where the little number 1 is, if you look closely, you'll see little red no turn signs in a circle. They're going to end the ability to turn off Roosevelt, enter Baxter, and then continue onto Glean. That's just not going to be allowed anymore. If you want to go from Roosevelt to Baxter, you're going to have to exit Roosevelt earlier and come around to get into Glean. Okay. Number 2 is they're going to slightly enlarge the area of the corner where pedestrians can stand to make the crossing shorter. Number 4 is they're telling you that the right lane can only turn onto Glean, and the left lane can only make the right turn onto Roosevelt. There is no more left turn onto Roosevelt from Baxter. And the number 3 over at 83rd Street in Roosevelt is telling you this. Right now, people can come up Baxter and make a left onto Roosevelt. DOT has pointed out that people can just be taken off Baxter at 83rd, go up 83rd, that short block, and make a left onto Roosevelt, and end that problem of making the left turn onto Roosevelt at the end of Baxter. They've suggested these motivated entirely by concerns over pedestrian safety. This next slide, thank you very much, Christina. What they've done is they've taken this 98-foot crossing where you crossed 83rd Street, and it's a very wide crossing. We all did it when we were down there for the site meeting. By extending the sidewalk a little bit on the south and a very little bit on the north side, and putting in a crosswalk, they brought it down to a 35-foot crossing, which is safer. And putting in a crosswalk so that cars will yield to people. Okay, and the next one, thank you, is that down at 82nd Street where the cars are coming down into Baxter, they're putting in a stop sign and a crosswalk, which will obviously make it safer. So thanks, Christina. So this is the project summary the DOT presented. I should say DOT is not asking for a vote on this. They are, however, asking that anyone who has input, suggestions, comments should make them. Christian, unless you tell me different, I'm going to say people who have it can email it to Christian at the board, and Christian can put anything he gets together to DOT.
Correct. So Matt, I can give you like a really quick 10-second update, just as a sidebar. I actually met with DOT today, and a concern that we had was that we felt the local neighborhood wasn't canvassed. We understand this is not seeking board approval, this is not seeking anybody's approval, but we felt like the community wasn't really notified properly. So what we did, we actually canvassed, we did our own small public hearing. We got very little feedback, I'm not gonna lie, but we also really came down on DOT really hard, telling them that they also have to do a little better job and do some flyering as well. My understanding as of today, Matt, speaking to John O'Neill and Jason, both say that they, John O'Neill, let me not put Jason in this one. John O'Neill did in fact say that DOT is going to canvass very soon on that block. So if you can't reach out to the board office directly, by all means, you can reach the DOT. And also, Matt, we are going to share this slide with all board members. But you did an amazing job. I mean, I got to say, you went a lot more in depth than I would have gone. But all members will have a copy of this, and you are always free to reach out to the board office, Matt, or DOT with further info. But yes, there will be some canvassing happening this week. They'll report the findings to us, Matt, and we can go from there. But this was an update as of today. So thank you.
Matthew, that was fantastic.
Yeah, no, really. Like, Matt, good stuff, man. Really, thank you.
Okay, I think that's it, kids. Thank you very much.
Matt, can I just add something? What is the stance from the transportation committee? Do you guys have any recommendations, or are you guys okay with the changes?
I think we all, and Linda especially, were very concerned that the people who live on Glean Street, the people who live on Glean Street, if you go, could you go back to number 11, Christina? The Baxter and Roosevelt proposed. The people who live on Glean Street are now going to have to go out of their way to get to the, right now you can go along Roosevelt, turn into Baxter, which is questionable, and then just continue into Glean. You can do that from both directions on Roosevelt. What you're gonna have to do now is, if you're coming from like the Manhattan side, from Woodside, you're gonna have to leave Roosevelt a couple of blocks earlier, head over to Baxter and come up. And if you're coming from the Corona end, you're gonna have to leave Roosevelt a long block earlier and go all the way around to up, and then up Baxter, which is inconvenient to people on the block, we think. So we all were concerned, Christian and Linda very much so, that the people on the block have their opinions, be made aware of it and be able to make their opinions known. And DOT didn't agree with that, but it's great to know from Christian that is going to happen. We've already done it. Christian went out, I believe himself, and put up notices on lampposts and in mailboxes. And we got, I think, only 1 or 2 comments. And it's good that DOT is going to do it so that the people who are there will have an opportunity to say if they're very concerned.
Right. So, and you know what, also one thing that I want to throw in, Matt, it's not so much the concern right there lies right now. And I mean, we're not going to concern in that, you know, it's great because it is for pedestrian safety, but we have to also take consideration that, and you know what, you're mentioning people getting off much earlier in Roosevelt. The truth is the majority of people will have to be going up 82nd Street. And everybody knows that 82nd Street is the site of the new Chipotle development, the new potential Target development. Those are all items that have to be considered. And coming up 82nd is already an issue. So my concern is just, you know, a 10 to 15 minute wait period going around the block, but DOT doesn't seem to be that, you know, doesn't seem to think that's the case. I think we could easily hit a 10-minute loop if you get caught up with Baxter Avenue and Target traffic somewhere down the line, but we're not quite there yet. But that was a major concern. DOT has acknowledged it, they heard it, but those numbers don't exist right now. They will exist once Target comes, but for now they have to go based on what's there. So that's my last piece, Matt. You're free to go. Thank you.
Okay, and that's it for me, guys.
Thank you, Matt, for all your work. Thank you.
I have a question for you. You heard me?
Yes, Mr. Chen. Yes, quick question.
You know, recently something happened. One male, 56, waiting for the bus with some like hate crime, is killed. that possible? We're getting more patrolling cars or cameras, something like that.
Mr. Chen, right now we're talking about the proposed changes for Matt. We could talk about that. If you want to write it in the chat, we can get to later on that. Okay. And then I think Lucy had a question. Oh, Lucy, we can't hear you.
Did you look at the school that's on Baxter and around that area and near Glean? Baxter and Glean, you have a school, a large school. The school buses are very active in that area in the early morning and mid-afternoon. Did you guys look into that or tell DOT about that?
So the truth is, Lucy, is that the school buses, if they do go to that school, they don't normally make that left off Roosevelt Avenue go up Glean because the school is a little further up. That's not normally the route that school buses take, but it was brought up. The school buses were brought up as a concern, but they're focused because this was designed by a pedestrian safety unit. The main focus is pedestrian safety, and I have to say, without throwing DOT on the actual bus, pedestrian safety is the main concern. Right now, traffic in schools and everything is somewhat coughed to the side, but pedestrian safety was the main concern, but it was brought up. The school was discussed, and it did not seem to be a point of concern as it's not really affected by that corner specifically.
That corner where that park is very heavily congested with buses, exactly what Mr. Chow was saying.
Correct.
A lot of bus routes are in that, and especially during rush hour and early morning when people are going to work. I just wanted to know if that was discussed as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and Lucy, actually, I know you did some of your report for when we did the vote. Do you have anything else to add for public safety, or you're good?
No, I think that's it for now.
Okay, thank you.
I can mention telephone numbers, so let me do this. For the initiative, if anybody sees any graffiti, you can call 311, or you can call Community Affairs at 718-476-9310, or the NCO office, which is going to be doing most of the cleaning up of the graffiti, is 718-476-6725. That's what I'll add to that.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you.
And ULIP committee, Alton?
Good evening. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I think Marilena really summed up and did an excellent job on Corey Johnson Together Comprehensive Plan. It really doesn't support the needs of Community Board 4. Community Board 4. I reviewed CB8 Land Use Committee, and I sent that out in terms of YouTube. That really explains comprehensive plan program. It gives both the city and Paul Graciano view of which he is a urban planner, views for those who want a more detailed understanding of the comprehensive program. But the program does not support the needs of Community Board 4. It calls for greater density. That's not what we need. We do not need greater density. It did not address the pandemic. It did not address what we went through as the Epic Center. It failed to do a lot of things that we needed to have done in our community. It spent a great deal of time talking about revamping the ULIP program without necessary changes, which did not make any sense. But yet at the same time,
Alton, I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah, could you speak, maybe get closer, speak a little louder, because some people are having problems hearing you.
Okay, is this better?
A little bit louder.
Okay. Let me turn up the volume. Okay, I basically said that Marilena did an excellent job in addressing that this does not serve the needs of Community Board 4. It talks about greater density, in which we do not need greater density. It talked about contextual zoning for those that have already been contextual zoning. We did not experience that. It does not address the needs that our community needs. So, so those who wanted more details about the comprehensive planning, we have the link, and I also sent CB8 land use video for those who want to view it to have a clear understanding of what we think. I felt that it was a balanced land use committee meeting because they had a representation from the city. I believe her name was Annie, and then there was Paul, who's an urban planner. So those who want greater details about it, they can do so. But it did not address what needed to be addressed. That we are in the middle of a pandemic. We was hard hit. It did not address the hospital systems that we need here. It did not address the fact that we are overcrowded. That they can basically just build what they want. There was some mention about grains, GRAINS. Grains are tools that we could possibly use for Europe, but there was no details about it. So as far as I'm concerned, that it does not really address our needs, and anybody want more details can look at the the link as well as the YouTube video. Is that clear?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Much
much
Thank
better.
you.
Thank you. Anything else, Alton, or?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
The last Thursday, we have a Europe committee. We have one application and one pre-application. Have a good evening.
Oh, yeah, Marilena, I have a question for those. You made a petition to the Mayor Blasio about the things we are complaining is not equal, right? To the different communities. My question, I try to follow the lead fire number intro 2186.
Right.
But I went inside, I couldn't find no context there. It's kind of like don't show that much.
So do you want to look at the proposal? Is that what you're saying?
Afternoon, I went. I couldn't see anything what you complained for that those things.
Okay, so we sent the email out last Friday to everyone. It was included in the email. The board sent an email out last Friday. So if you still can't click on it, we can just send you an email and separately, and maybe you'll be able to click on it. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
We'll get that to you. Thank you. Alton, do you have anything else to report, or you're all set?
I'm set.
Okay, thank you, Alton. Okay, so last committee is the youth committee.
Good evening, everyone. I have nothing to report at this time. The youth committee have not met up, but I'm planning setting up a meeting for next week, and then we'll have something to report because the pandemic is out here, and you have to be very careful with the guidelines for the teens. So I have to come up with something that maybe we can do something on Zoom or something like that. So next month we'll have something to report.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Okay, so that concludes the committee reports. Thank you, everyone in the committees, the chairs of the committees. You guys are doing excellent work. It's amazing. So keep it up. Okay, so now we're just going to close off open session number 2. So if you have any last comments or concerns or anything, just let us know.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start. I'm going to go off the list of the people who were here. Chao Chung Chen,
Yes.
any last comments?
Oh, yeah. I tried to say about the Matt did a good job, and this first things. Second, and asking, I say, we could ask the police department or help us getting more patrolling. It's ridiculous. Someone waiting the bus and killed right on the spot. What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's scary. That's very scary. And also, why something I find very strange is now have less car on the street, right? Because the pandemic, the COVID, and instead the pedestrian, the crossing street have more casualties. What happened with that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chung.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. David Chung.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to say that it's been an absolute honor to serve on this board with all of you. Maria Elena, thank you so much for leading us right now. I'm so proud of our board having your powerful voice guiding it. I know I will see you guys around, and look forward to other ways that we will connect in the future.
Thank you, David, for your service. We're all sorry to see you go, but I know we'll see you around in the community, and definitely keep in touch with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Linda Carell?
No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Lorena Diaz?
No comment.
Thank you. Michelle Dunstan?
Everyone, a great meeting, great job, everyone, and we take the small victories with the big ones. So that been denied for the park on 45th and Broadway. Great job, guys, and you're doing a great job. Happy International Women's Month, everyone. God bless.
Thank you, Michelle. Aridia Espinal?
Thank you. You know, I had to double hear that because it's so rare that people call me Aridia.
Well, you know what? I just read off the list.
I know. I was like, yeah, is my mom in this community board?
It's a beautiful name, though.
Thank you. But no, nothing to say. But I want to say, David, thank you for serving with us. I'm saddened that I won't chair a health committee without you. But I appreciate your time. Anybody that serves on a community board is an honor. This is something that we do because we love the community and the neighborhood that we live in. So I appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you, and happy St. Patrick's Day to all. And I'll see you next month.
Thank you. Kristen Gonzalez?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. And I hope you're all safe. Looking forward to seeing you next month. And I think that's it. Have a good night.
Thank you. Vincent Marcello? I know Vinny's there.
He's texting us in the chat, so he's definitely there, but he may not be.
Yeah, he's muted. I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Well, Vinny actually put stuff.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Just two things. I want to thank Daniel Drum's office for fighting for community boards. That's a big one. And also, I put in the group chat that we'll be hosting a community cleanup at William F. Moore Park on the 21st. That will be at 1 p.m. And then Al Perner and the Perner Foundation will be bringing back the Easter egg hunt, Easter bunny, and a DJ in a very socially distanced form, March 28th, 2021. So I'll have all the information up for you guys. I just want to wish everybody a happy Women's History Month, and God bless everybody.
Thank you, Vinny.
Yeah. Salvatore Lombardo? He's here, but I don't think he's going to speak. Okay. Carol Moshewski? Okay, I don't think Carol's there. Sunil Mahat?
Hi, everyone. Please continue to stay safe. No comments. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Patricia Martin? No. Okay. Sylvia Martin?
I have no comments. Just want to wish everybody a good evening and enjoy the next couple of days coming up. Nice weather.
Thank you, Sylvia. Actually, Pat, I think you were trying to just log in.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I just wanted to say this was a great meeting. It was very informative. But I do want to say, Matthew and Gregory, I had a vision when you were talking about moving the bus stop for the casinos. I just had a vision of seniors with walkers and canes when this pandemic is over coming after you. So be prepared for that. And I do want to celebrate all the women on the board in this during this month of celebration for women. So thank you.
Thank you.
Maria Elena, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Carol?
Oh, because yeah, I have only audio on my computer at the moment. I lost video a while back.
Okay, we can
So
hear
when you
you.
called my name, I figured out you couldn't hear me.
No, we didn't hear you. We
We're
didn't
good,
hear
we're
you
good.
before.
Oh, I don't have any comment to make really, except that I came into the meeting tonight through my browser because the Zoom connection wouldn't work. That I got on the Zoom connection, the link on the email that was sent didn't work.
Oh, okay.
So I think
Okay, yeah, that's strange, but I guess I don't know. I guess maybe Christina can try to troubleshoot it if anything for you.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's a little strange. We'll look into it. So hopefully next time it would be a little bit easier for you to get on.
Because I had initially when I came on, I did have visual, and I could hear everybody. But then, like right after Miss Franklin's presentation, lost the visual altogether.
Well, a little thing that might help some people, you know, for next meeting. Sometimes if it might be easier if you're going on your phone or your laptop to actually download the app, download Zoom. So this way you have it like saved, and then when you click on something, it just goes right into it. That might be a little bit easier for everyone if you download it, you know, and you just have it on whatever you're using.
I will. The office will work with Carol. I mean, for sake of keeping us moving forward, not to rush it up, but I want to keep this to like meeting specific stuff. But we'll work with Carol to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Carol.
Okay.
Matthew McElroy.
Hi, I didn't have anything to say, but now I want to say to Pat Martin that I'm fully planning to give those old people with walkers Gregory's phone number and drop a dime on him. I also want to say seriously to David that it's been a pleasure, and I'm sorry you're stepping down, and I wish you all the best. And finally, March, as far as I'm concerned, is the beginning of summer. Everybody should have a good month.
Thank you, Matt. Does Rovenia have anything to say?
Ravinia, you want to say anything?
Yes, I want everybody to be safe, wear your mask, and I want to let you know that Walgreens is giving the vaccine. All you have to do is call them because my appointment is for tomorrow morning at 8:15, and I'm so happy.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Sandra Munas.
That's not it. Wait.
Hi everyone. Yes, it was a great meeting. Thank you to all the presenters. As always, I learned so much. Very funny about the old people coming out with the walkers, the seniors coming out with the walkers that they changed the bus stop. That was a great presentation, Matt, because the 47 years that I've been living in this community, I've always wondered how it is that the streets were designed that way. But at the same time, I appreciate that we do have to canvass our community and find out what it is best for the people that are most affected by any change. And finally, I just want to say two more things. One, it's very sad that the zip code 11373, 11368, and 11369 have been hit super hard with this pandemic, and yet it I don't know, like a lottery to get a vaccine in this community. People over 65, it might be a little easier, but still it's not that easy. And people with conditions, it's almost impossible. I tried just to see, and I put in my zip code for Jamaica because my office is in Jamaica, and I got an appointment in 5 minutes. I got an appointment. Of course, I didn't take it. I canceled it because I don't reside in Jamaica. That didn't feel right. But why don't we have something like that for us here in Queens? We gotta make our voices be heard, especially when we're in the epicenter of the epicenter. So I really appreciate that something is happening, but it's got to happen sooner than in the spring. It should have happened already for our community. And the last thing I want to say, I'm actually working with Dominican American on Society of Queens on an incentive to empower young women, young Latina women in high school. So if you know of anyone who is in high school, and we're going to teach them how to navigate the college process and just give them so many tools, empowerment tools that they need. We're going to have speakers coming in. Maybe if any of you are interested in being speakers, that would be great. Let me know. And we would love to have the young women join the initiative, and any of you who want to be speakers. And finally, happy International and National Women's Day to all of you powerhouses.
Thank you. And same to you. Gurdeep Singh Narula.
Hello. Are you listening to me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I want to congratulate all the Women's Day, which is very important because of as a mother, as a sister, as a grandmother, as a wife, I respect all of them, and it's a great honor for all the Women's Day. Second thing, CDC has a clear, if the both parents or family member, they got a 2 injection, they can have a meeting, they can meet together as a small group, but not with a big group, because they already avoid, but still you have to wear a mask to avoid is next problem, because right is which the new virus came, is not good for other people. So try to avoid and get the injection. But I want to tell all the council people, everybody bring the topic with a COVID, but they are not getting a proper line or proper numbers which the people that can go in the neighborhood, and people they have to go to Jamaica, other places they can get the injection. But even in Richmond Hill, people they are coming with the city arrange to Richmond Hill, and in the Corona there's no people not coming. I do not know why is the people. So I am listening all the time, COVID. All the assembly women and other people also, they say we are trying, but why people are getting not in this area, which the Corona area, there are a lot of people that need is injection. So I want to request, please tell all the in this area the leaders, they should arrange. And also one thing more is everybody's saying, where the tenants, they are not getting a rent, because people they are afraid to get the eviction, and same token the landlord is also suffering, because they talk, but they're not bringing any real topic. So this way I'm really upset, because every time talk there, everybody, all the leaders, they're talking COVID. Everybody listen, we are listening all the time in the TV, but they should also bring the people's problem. A lot of people, they are out of job. People, they have no home. They cannot pay the rent. And they, after March 1st, and people, they're going to, some landlord, they're going to put in the court. They should help those people first.
Thank you, Mr. Narula. I think that's a lot of people's concern. So just to save some time, I think as community board, maybe we can reach out and see how we can get more vaccinations in the community, for CB4, and also what we can do for tenants and landlords. I think a lot of people had that concern, so we'll look into that. Thank you so much.
And I'm proud of you. You're handling very nice way this program.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
You're
so
a very
much.
young person, but I can proud on you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
God bless you.
George, you too. Georgina Oliver. I know she was here before, but she had some problems. Okay, Alex Owen.
He left.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have too much to say other than just to comment on Matthew's presentation. I live about a block-ish, 2 blocks, depending on what side, south of 83rd and Baxter, and I can attest that crossing the street it's very dangerous. Especially, I don't know if there's going to be anything done about crossing from the Target side to the other side where the grocery store is. I found it challenging it's maybe a quarter mile of a stretch without a stoplight or stop sign. So cars just kind of whiz by. So I don't know if that's something that you guys could also look at some point, but that's it.
Thank you. Ashley Reed?
Thank you. I just want to say great meeting. Everyone did an excellent job. Matt, that was an excellent presentation. And I also just want to say thank you, David. It was a pleasure serving with you on the health committee. And I really wish you well. And I hope to still see you around.
Thank you. Oscar Rios? I don't know if he's still here. I don't think so. Christian Romero?
Thank you, Marilena. Just a good night to everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Clara Salas?
Just two things. Happy International Women's Day and happy St. Patrick's Day to each and every one of you.
Thank you. Lucy?
Yes. Is Matt still with us?
Yes, he's still here.
Okay, just want to bring some attention to Matt. One thing we've been arguing a lot and fighting for is that we have a shortage of traffic enforcement agencies. If you go around the mall during the holidays, they don't have it. They usually have to use their employees to direct traffic, and that could be another reason why we're having so much trouble. But we've always been shortchanged when it comes to traffic enforcement. That's something I'm going to bring to his attention. Maybe if I can make his next meeting, I will bring it up again.
Thank you. Red Sevilla?
Thanks, Maria Elena. I just wanted to share Sandra's confusion about the lack of locations for vaccines. I too share that same confusion, considering this the epicenter of the epicenter. If you're under 65, there weren't a lot of locations. And so I share that. And again, that's very confusing for me. But despite that, have a good night, everybody, and happy Women's History Month to everyone, and St. Patrick's Day. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ren. Alton Derek Smith?
Night.
Is Alton still? He might have left.
Have a safe evening.
Oh.
Have a safe evening, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Gregory Spock?
So I was hoping I could make this announcement when more of the elected officials are here. But ultimately, you know, as someone who serves on the executive board, I was involved in the decision-making along with my other members and Marilyn, our chair, in limiting the elected officials' time to speak to 2 minutes. I went back before this meeting and noticed that it also says in the meeting announcement that it's 2 minutes. And I think, you know, out of respect to the board members here that are volunteers, we respect what you do. And, you know, we even switched to Zoom so that we could make any, you know, accessible events and things that you wanted to promote in the community available, you know, as a platform to you. But I really feel like, since I did take note that we began our portion of the meeting at 8:04 this evening, we really need to hold to that. And, you know, I don't feel that is Marilena's responsibility. I don't think that's our district manager's responsibility. I think that's really on the elected officials. We want to work together, you know, and partner with you. And lastly, on that subject, because it does need to be spoken about, Kelly, who is the representative from Daniel Drum's office, I was hoping to address directly with her the fact that the Artists Making Changes event, which Christian, myself, and Artists Making Changes worked diligently over the summer to put this together, because not for our benefit, for the community's benefit, we want to see arts flourish in this community, even if it has to be on Zoom. And the councilperson, Councilman Drum, could not even share the announcement. I had to tweet him to basically call out the fact that he was not representing his community And just in closing, I just want to sort of reiterate for any of the council people and elected officials that are still online or their representatives that we, we decide your fate, essentially. We vote you in or out. And so we just remember that. Thanks.
Thank you, Gregory. Marcello Testa?
Got nothing to say. Good night.
Good night. Minwen Yang? Don't think she's on.
Yeah, I have nothing to say except a good evening and good night and also happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for a wonderful meeting. Thank you for all your hard work. And I guess the meeting's adjourned.
Well, Marilyn, for record
Yeah.
purposes, I don't know if we still have a quorum, but can we get an actual motion to adjourn? I don't think we have a quorum, but just in case, can we get
No,
like?
I think we still have a quorum. I think we're okay.
Can we just
Yeah,
get like a
yeah,
motion to adjourn from somebody and then just follow it up with close?
But Christian,
I move to adjourn.
I agree with Gregory. I agree with Gregory. Whatever he said, everybody should have a limit of time because sometimes all the politicians, they took a long time. And she should be stopped after 2 minutes just like have a bed. And that's it, no more.
I think also we should enforce that if you don't have anything, like if it's something that could be in the chat or we can put in an email so that we don't have to, we could just, move forward. Because that's something that we can relay to the members of the board and also our members of the public. So I think for next meeting, we need to make that clear. If it's something that, like the elected official is here or something very important, but if it's something like an event or some legislation or something going on that could be easily relayed in a flyer or a link, we could just save a lot of time and we can go about our board business. So I agree with everyone. Thank you.
And on that
Chairperson,
note,
I'd like to
move
make a motion to
this
adjourn.
meeting.
Thank you.
I move the motion to adjourn.
Okay, so we got a lot of motions. We're good. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
God bless.
Hey guys, thanks for what you do.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Yes, good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys. Good night.
Right.
Georgina, did you get my chat?